Hey guys, this is May Elizabeth, and words cast spells, and there is code and language, and my background is in language, linguistics, etymology, literature, and rhetoric. This is my university background, but also I've read a ton of books over the years. And the job that I do now actually has influenced my desire to create this channel, as it's a very unique spin, a very unique perspective I have in this reality, as I am up close and personal with the elite classes of our society. And I fly with them on private jets, and I've done this for 2 decades. And they're all most of the clients that I've flown are household names. This has contributed to my curiosity on the mystery of this realm that we are in. And as far as politicians, royalty, celebrities, etc., I think, I don't know when it started, but maybe about 5, 6, 7 years ago, which I always knew things were off in this place. However, I started questioning a lot of things and realizing a lot of things. We start to realize that there's a hierarchy here. We start to realize the significance of the CIA, the government, justice, which is just is, right? You know, those guys in the black robes. And this video actually is not to steer off course, but it's about identity. The word identity, ID entity. And I'm thinking about this a lot lately, as the last time that I was flying in the airport, I noticed the upgrades to security as far as they're doing this facial recognition. They're also doing this real ID, which real, the word real is Ra-El, sun god, ID, with the yellow star as the symbol on the ID, which, if anyone who knows our false history knows the meaning behind the yellow star. And I did not partake in that when I was asked, when I was renewing my driver's license, whenever that was, when they asked, would you like to do that? I think it was optional then, and in some states it's becoming mandatory when you renew, and that's not all of the states. However, more and more we're going to see that change, and this is concerning. So ID entity, if we look at that word for just a moment, ID, the D, is it for death, as we are in some sort of Bordeaux's astral or some afterlife. Some of the truthers that I've been listening to lately are really harping on this idea that we are dead, and on some level I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with that. However, how far do we go with that? We know that this is not a real world. This is some sort of copy, digital copy, mirrored, reflected copy. And we know by now that it's not life in the way, even the way we remember it as kids, as far as more analog. We know that it's not as it should be. We know that there is far too much suffering, too much disparity. All we have to do is look at the little babies being born and all the you-know-whats that they're giving them, which is off the chart. I think maybe it's in 30 something or 40 something, and just the way humans are treated now and the new generations coming up, and this influence of the morphogenic field, which for me, I'm seeing in my matrix, in my virtual reality headset, which we refer to as the eyes, I'm seeing so many patterns. I will see something, I will go out and I will see a type of avatar, two avatars walking, and I will see the same types of avatars in my next outing and the next time and the next time. And so what we have to do is recognize patterns. Just like in nature, patterns are vital to having a greater understanding of this reality, of this false construct, this polarized place. And here's the thing about the ID entity. They're also going to start doing the barcode, the QR code inside the hand. I want to say I heard that they were already starting that somewhere else, not in the US. I believe it was somewhere in Asia, of course. So, and there's been theories on the Asians that they are descended from the Greys, which personally I believe that the Greys are some type of future humanoid that they are creating now. And since time is not real, time is an illusion, the beginning and the end are all happening right now. And that's a whole nother video, and I don't want to get off on that tangent. But what I want to say is identity. If we just examine that word for a moment, ID, entity. We are entities. We are spirits in the material world, ghosts in the machine. And it's kind of odd how we are simultaneously with ghosts. We've always grown up with the stories of ghosts and haunted stuff. I mean, I live in New Orleans. I live actually in a really large 3,300 square foot Victorian on the streetcar line in downtown New Orleans. And I live right near the above ground cemeteries. And when I lived part-time in Mobile, Alabama, I also am very close to another cemetery, which really has me thinking about something. Sometimes I have these weird thoughts that what if you died, and then this is what concerns me about coffins. Okay, like what if you died and you're in the coffin, and yet your attachment to, you have some recognition, some realization that you're there, even though you're a spirit, and so you attach to this world, which is a mirrored demiurge, plasma-based, frequency-based world. And the reason is that you are escaping the underground, the coffin. How do you know that that's not happened to you? You don't. And I would imagine most people that are here seeking truth, the few that are listening to me and listening to other truther channels are those that have experienced strange phenomena as far as OBEs, or I know I've had OBEs, and as far as being near death. Although to some degree I believe that NDEs are a psyop, because I think they promote the souled being to return to this construct by way of the moon, which is a soul recycling system for corded beings, which are recorded here. And I'm pretty certain on that. And what I'm getting at is we are entities here, and those that are listening, I know, can relate to this. I often have experiences with when I'm in the company of normies and NPCs, even those that are the closest to us. That can be your family, your your friends, your spouse, your loved ones, even when you're in the company of them, it's a real struggle for me to discuss these very human elements of their everyday existence that they like to discuss, whether it's news, social media, political, etc. I don't know. I just tend to tune out, or I feel like I'm sort of upholding a charade because it's not the real me. And that's what happens for us, is that we're not being we know deep, it's deep inside who we are, and it's not this human form. We are like this the spinning macabre. I feel like I always say that wrong. I'm not sure on the pronunciation of that, and I hate getting pronunciations incorrect. But the spinning macabre, the tetrahedron that we have inside of us that spins, the illuminated self that's inside of us. This is like this is who we really are. But we must be out in this world projecting this image, this false image, this ID entity, this identity. That's not who we are. This facade, and that is the identity, because we are the entities, and those of us. So if you dropped the ID, which is like I for me, like as an I, the observer. And the D, which could easily represent that we are in the devil's den, the demiurge, or death itself, entity. So those of us separated, okay? We are separated. We are the entities. We are like a separate, and we're a minority, I have no doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. We are the minority. If you just think about in your circle, in your world, how many are close to you, your friends, when you get together, your relatives, well, that circle is I'm sure kind of minor in comparison to the numbers that we hear that are on this realm, which is staggering and clearly false. Clearly fabricated numbers. And I don't think that I know that there were a lot, and still a lot, that have left this realm by way of another death. But I actually think they want a lot of us here, but they want the younger, like the obviously the ones born in this century. They want they're morphing those, just kind of like Morpheus, right? The morphogenic field is kind of like the Morpheus, and we, creating this with these scalar waves, which are connected with these towers, and they're creating, along with the left arm situation, the Maxines, they are connected, and they are creating this whole different human, this humanoid avatar, non-sex, asex, indistinguishable avatar, and we just don't fit in here, the spirit beings that are somehow were elevated with this elevated consciousness, and you can spot them a mile away. So we are different. They are more, to me, an identity, and we are more the entity, the spiritual entity. We have this spinning light within us, and we don't belong here. It's not our kingdom. And I will expand on that in another video soon. But is there an exit, is the question? Is there a portal? Like, we are brainwashed. When you consider that we are literally brainwashed from the time of birth about all subjects in the educational system, we are conditioned. And here's the thing. When you start realizing that it's all a lie, that it's all a front created by the underground, created by the secret societies who actually have in their possession the true nature of our reality, which I know is some sort of projection. We are projected holographically in here. But what I'm getting at is when you start realizing that it's all fake, that none of it is genuine. And maybe, yeah, okay, a little bit's here and there because they like to do that, because that confuses you. And that helps uphold the lie. It isn't because they have a conscience, it's because that's part of the game. But in general, what I'm saying is when we start to realize that, then you better start looking at death and the exit of this place. It's not what they tell us, so could it be something else? Is it related to portals? Are there portals? I mean, they know what they are. They're already transferring consciousness underground. They already know how to do this. I have heard and read, because I read a lot, and I have heard and read that they had technology, or the conology. They were, underground in the 1970s. They have all these cities underground, and even the 60s. They were like this. All they do is release. Nothing is under the sun, no pun intended, is new. And we as entities need to start thinking about this. Where are these portals? Here's a question for you, and I don't care if I've, 300 people are listening or 12. I would love to see some comments on that. Do you guys, would you step into that portal if you could leave this construct? If you could leave it. But would you need to know where you were going exactly? I think that's some of the issue is the unknown, but we are getting clues. We are getting signs. And some of these truther channels, there's one in particular that I'm real fed up with, is just like, don't look for codes, don't look for clues, forget symbolism, don't waste your time. Okay, well, why? My question is, why can't we make the most of it? And yes, I disagree wholeheartedly. It is fine. I mean, obviously some of these channels are just distracting you on another level, no different than watching Netflix. However, there is some validity. There is something to be said for valid research and studying of the codes. They hold the keys. They know, they have the knowledge. And I actually kind of believe how hidden in plain sight. In other words, for the average, normally they'll never clue into this. But those of us that are enlightened, as I said, there's not many of us here. There is just no way. There's not many of us here. I have a handful of friends, less, that I engage with on a regular basis, that are in a group in the Gulf Coast. Now, in general, the people that are close to me in my world that I've known for years, they don't even know I have this channel, and they never will. So, or crew members that I fly with and such. That's why I kind of retain a little bit of anonymity here. Although I probably will at some point make some videos. It is important to see the person. Like, I get it. I like that too. But the nature of my job is very high profile, and I actually signed an NDA, so I've got to be a little incognito and a little bit cognizant and cautious with that. So I will end this video here, and I know I went off on a couple of different subjects. I have a lot more to say, and I will create another one soon. But for now, I was thinking a lot about identity. For me, I wonder about you guys, I'm not sure, but I will not get the under the skin scanning QR business. That's why they're putting us down this QR road, which I can't stand QRs. I can't stand them. And I travel a lot, and hotels love the QRs. They want you to QR everything. If you want to order a sandwich, you have to go through a QR code. in a Hilton in San Francisco, in a Hilton in Dallas, in a Hyatt, in a all these big hotels, they're all going QR. And what that means is you can't speak to a person. You can't say, how can I get condiments? How can I get crackers with my soup? What I'm saying is they are eliminating the human factor. The human variable is becoming non-existent, eliminated. And if you are in the world at all, you will notice this. And there are a lot of truthers who are very isolated, I notice, and I love some of them, but I'm kind of burnt out. I feel like the isolation, I know, get off grid, get away from the matrix. But then again, I don't know that complete isolation from humans. I still think that we desire some human connection on a deeper level, on a deeper level than just videos or talking on the phone, etc. We still crave that human connection, and that's totally normal, even if you are an entity in the identity. Okay, I'll stop it there. Thanks, guys, for listening. I'd love to see any comments you have on this subject. Until next time.